Welcome everyone. I'm excited to kick off our presentation today with a fun topic, fun with words and sounds. Today, we'll explore spelling and vowel changes. We'll have a great time learning how small changes in vowels can make a big difference in words. So, let's get started and enjoy the journey into the playful world of words and sounds. Let's talk about adding an ending. When we add an ending, it actually changes the sound of the word completely. This is a crucial concept because it shows how small changes can impact pronunciation and meaning. Now, what are vowel changes? Essentially, vowel changes happen when the vowel sounds within words shift, especially when we add something like an ending. These changes are important because they help us understand how words evolve and how pronunciation can be affected by different endings. Throughout this presentation, keep in mind that understanding how adding endings can alter sounds is key to mastering pronunciation and spelling patterns. Let's take a closer look at the different types of vowel changes. First, we have the short vowel to schwa, which is often an unstressed, neutral sound like the sound. This kind of change happens quite frequently in English, especially in unstressed syllables. Next, there's the long vowel to schwa, where a longer, more emphasized vowel sound reduces to that same neutral, unstressed sound. This often occurs in natural speech when a vowel sound becomes less prominent. Lastly, we have the long vowel to a short vowel, which involves a reduction from a more open, elongated vowel to a shorter, more relaxed one. Recognizing these patterns helps us understand how vowels can shift depending on stress and context, and this is a key part of mastering pronunciation and natural speech flow. Let's take a closer look at some key terminology, starting with definition, which we can think of as a short and clear explanation of a concept. When we define something, we're providing a detailed, longer explanation to really clarify what it means. Now, moving on to national, which is a shorter way of referring to a country or a nation. When we say nation, we mean the entire community of people who share a common identity, culture, or territory, and it's usually a longer, more formal term. An important point here is the change from long to short, specifically when moving from nation to national. This shift highlights how language can evolve or be adapted for different contexts. Recognizing these differences helps us understand how terminology influences our perception of identity and community. Overall, grasping these distinctions is crucial because it connects to how we communicate concepts of identity, belonging, and statehood, which are central themes in our discussion today. All right, let's talk about the schwa sound today. When we see the word realization, it actually contains the schwa sound. And this is important because it helps us understand how words are pronounced naturally in speech. To help remember this, think of the word realize. When we say realize, we're actually combining the idea of recognizing or understanding something, and that often involves the schwa sound. Now, a key point here is the combination of sounds. When words are spoken quickly, some vowels, especially the schwa, become very relaxed and less distinct. This is what we call the combine aspect, blending sounds smoothly in natural speech. Another important change to notice is how we often shift from a long vowel sound to the schwa sound, which is like an unstressed, quick This change makes speech more fluid and less choppy. So, in summary, understanding the schwa sound and how it appears in words like realization and realize helps us speak more naturally and understand spoken English better. It's all about recognizing that relaxed vowel sound that appears in many words when they're spoken quickly. Let's take a closer look at how small changes can make a big difference. First, we start with the word habit. Notice how it sets the foundation. Habits shape our daily routines and ultimately our success. Next, we move to habitat. By adding just a couple of letters, it transforms into a broader environment, the space where our habits live and grow. Then we see excel. This word emphasizes striving for excellence, which is the goal once we've established good habits and the right environment. Finally, excellence takes it even further, representing the highest standard we aim for. Now, let's focus on the language change highlighted here. the shift from a longer vowel sound to the short sound, or schwa. This change helps make our speech more natural and fluid, especially in fast or casual conversations. In the bigger picture, these words show how small adjustments, whether in our habits, environment, or language, can lead us toward excellence. It's all about continuous improvement and making those subtle shifts that drive real progress. Now let's look at the difference between the short I sound and the long I sound. On the left, we have the short I, which sounds quick and brief. It's like in the word bit. Then we have the long I sound on the right, which is stretched out a bit more, as in cycle. Notice how the pronunciation changes the meaning and sometimes even the spelling. This is where the concept of a cycle comes into play. These sounds are part of a repeating pattern that we can practice to improve our pronunciation. So let's practice together with the word cycle. Repeat after me, cycle. Great. Recognizing these sound differences is key to mastering pronunciation and understanding the nuances in language. Remember, these small changes can make a big difference in how clearly we communicate. Today, I want to focus on the schwa, or sound, which is a really common sound in English. It's often the unstressed vowel you hear in many words, especially in casual speech. When we talk about preparation, mastering this sound can help make your pronunciation more natural and fluent. Now let's look at the long A sound. This is a different vowel sound that appears in words like prepare. It's more emphasized and has a clear, stretched-out quality. Understanding the difference between the schwa and the long A is crucial because it affects how you stress and pronounce words accurately. Speaking of prepare, you'll notice that this word contains both the schwa and the long A sounds. Paying attention to these helps you pronounce it correctly and understand its usage in different contexts. Finally, the words prepare and preparation are closely linked. Prepare is the verb, and preparation is the noun form. Both share similar sounds, but their pronunciation and stress patterns differ slightly. Recognizing these nuances is key to improving your overall pronunciation and clarity in speech. So, in summary, understanding the schwa sound and the long A sound, especially in words like prepare and preparation, is essential for clear, natural English pronunciation. This knowledge helps you sound more confident and fluent as you prepare for conversations or presentations. Let's take a closer look at the sounds involved here. First, we have the short I sound, which is found in words like collision. This sound is quick and relaxed, almost like a brief flicker in your speech. Now contrast that with the long I sound, which appears in the word collide. This one is stretched out a bit more, giving it a more drawn-out feel. Understanding this difference is important because it affects how we pronounce related words and how they connect in speech. For example, collide and collision are related, but they differ in length and emphasis. When we talk about a collision, we're referring to the event, a quick impact, a sudden bump. But when we say collide, we're describing the action, the act of coming together. The key point here is that recognizing these subtle differences in sounds helps us communicate more clearly and effectively. It also ties into the overall theme of how pronunciation and sound variations influence our understanding of words and concepts, especially in technical or detailed discussions like this. Let's take a closer look at the difference between the short I sound and the long E sound, as seen in words like sincerity and sincere. When we pronounce sincerity, we use the short I sound, which is more relaxed and quick. It's often used in words that describe qualities or states, like sincerity itself. Now, when we say sincere, we're using the long E sound, which is a bit more emphasized and clear. Understanding these subtle differences helps us communicate more authentically. Sincerity, with the short I, emphasizes the depth of genuine feeling, while sincere, with the long E, is about expressing that genuineness openly. Both words are interconnected and play a vital role in how we convey trust and honesty. Throughout our presentation, we've been emphasizing the importance of authenticity, and these nuances in pronunciation reinforce how sincerity are core to building strong relationships and credibility. Keep these distinctions in mind as they reflect the overall theme of genuine communication. Now let's look at the key concepts on this slide. First, we have repetition, which is all about repeating information or actions to reinforce learning or understanding. When we say repeat, we're emphasizing the importance of going over the same material multiple times to solidify it in our minds. Next, there's severity. This points to how serious or critical a situation or problem might be. When something is severe, it indicates a high level of importance or urgency that we need to address. Then we have explanation. This reminds us that clear, thorough explanations are essential for effective communication. When we explain, we're making complex ideas understandable and accessible to others. Finally, the phrase challenge time signals that it's time for us to test our understanding or put these concepts into practice. Throughout this presentation, these ideas, repetition, severity, explanation, are interconnected. Repetition helps us remember the severity of issues, and clear explanations help us communicate those issues effectively. So, as we move forward, keep in mind that emphasizing these points can make our messages more impactful and ensure we're truly understood. Now, are you ready for the challenge? Vowels change sounds when words grow. That's right. As we add more letters to a word, sometimes the vowel sounds can change, which makes spelling and pronunciation more interesting. Keep practicing your spelling because the more you practice, the better you'll become at recognizing these patterns. Remember, every step you take brings you closer to becoming a spelling star. So, stay motivated, keep practicing, and celebrate your progress along the way. You're doing an amazing job, and I can't wait to see how much you improve.